I want to go to cookout. We should catch up later this week. That was the last time, so I got to talk to him.
One final story I want to share is I deployed to Iraq in 2005 for a year. And first time I called back home, I talked to Dad and Haley, and Josh was 2.5 at the time. And he said 2 words. He said, "Daddy, home." And that inspired me to come home. And I know that Josh is home now and he's safe.
Luke was known for his quick wit and love of sports by friends and family members. Though he was quiet, he was always able to bring out laughter and joy in the smallest ways.
I always had a really good sense of self and everybody around him.
I don't think I've ever immediately connected with a person so much, because I felt like within a day of knowing him, I could basically talk to him about anything.
I would be at their house all the time, or he'd be at ours, and we'd even have the joke that he was my dad's son as well, and then he was like, "You're my favorite son" to Luke.
He was super passionate about sports, knew every statistic, every player. Throw the pillow at the TV, throw his can on the ground. He was so just rowdy. And it got to the point where instead of me watching the game, I would just watch him watch the game because it was way more entertaining for me.
As soon as he dropped his bag, she was going with him. And it wasn't a question of whether, even if he didn't want to, he was going to go with her.
His friends loved Star Wars, loved Legos, lightsabers.
Yeah, but he never gave up the lightsaber thing. He would go down in the basement and he would be down there with his friends literally over winter break, and they would be having lightsaber fights.
Happy, having fun, loved having a lot of friends. Even when the situation sometimes didn't call for humor, he could find humor in it.
Let's go, Ferg!
And we would kind of always pick on Robert for fun. And Nick was always super, super loud. And Ferg was always very quiet and very calculated in everything he said. And we'd have these hilarious one-liners where he didn't speak much, but every time he spoke, you laughed so hard.
Luke and I were wired more similarly. We're always the slow ones in the airport as they ran ahead and left us behind. He would actually slow down to wait for me because he was kind.
But both great guys. They were definitely some of the best people I ever knew.
That we know that he's nearby and just not with us physically, and that we love him.
We would like to now take a moment of silence to remember the lives lost and dedicate this show to their memory.
Has more to choose from.
Coleslaw.
Dirty rice.
Mac and cheese. Those scratch-made biscuits.
More choices of handcrafted fixins for everyone. You won't find that in a bucket or a bundle. Order in the app and get more. It's bow time.
It's bow time. Get fired up tonight because Bojangles has your dinner covered. Southbound, scratch-made. Not one of these, but one of these. That's more home cooking for your money. Order your family meal in the app tonight. It's bow time. It's bow time. Hurry into Bojangles for 2 scratch-made sizzling sausage biscuits for just $4. One bite and you'll want breakfast for dinner. Good thing we serve savory sausage biscuits all day. But this 2-for-4 deal won't last forever. It's bow time.
Head to Bojangles for a Chicken Supremes combo with your choice of fixin', a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit, and a drink. Bojangles, it's bow time.
This is BreezeTV.
Back to BreezeTV. Russia's invasion of Ukraine is affecting millions of lives. The James Madison Center for Civic Engagement sponsored a pressing conversation about the conflict, the future of the EU, and global democracy. As BreezeTV's Miriam Missolini shows us, Minister Chancellor of the German Republic discussed the diplomatic aspects of this conflict while emphasizing the current position of the EU.
Russia's war does not only affect Ukraine. Europe seems to be at a crossroads between supporting Ukraine and containing a potential world war. While policymakers are discussing the different options of managing the conflict, diplomats are at the heart of the discussion on resolving the conflict and ending the war. Dr. Bernie Kausler analyzes the current position of Russia.
Putin thought this would be an easy win. Putin thought the Ukrainian government would crumble. The Ukrainian state would be destroyed the way it is, the way it was, and it could be taken over by sort of pro-Russian benign government, right? That was the plan. He didn't anticipate for Europe to be that unified.
Minister Counselor Teglis seems to be confident that the Russian state will be unable to win the war.
Really convinced that the Russian system will not prove very successful at the end.
Grateful for the opportunity to discuss world affairs with a European diplomat, JMU students had the chance to ask questions and chat with Teglis.
It's been awesome. I mean, it's right up my alley to learn more from this statesman, and I just think it's a great opportunity.
While this event showcased the urgency of the situation in Ukraine, Teglis emphasized the importance of traveling outside one's country to gain a more rounded perspective.
Travel more. Leave your country for a time and see other perspectives.
For Counselor Teglis, traveling shaped his career in diplomacy, and he hopes JMU students challenge themselves in various ways. Reporting for BreezeTV, I'm Miriam Celini.
JMU's newly elected SGA is getting started and ready, and our reporter Alexa Bonina has more from the new exec board. Alexa?
Last week, the Student Government Association announced the winners for the 2023-2024 academic year. The major-elects sat down to discuss their plans for office.
2,000 votes, the Student Government Association results are in. Nate Hazen is now the student body president-elect, and he credits his win to
the opportunities this campus has given me. Most of all, the students on this campus have given me to be a good friend, a good leader, and a good Duke of JMU is something that I never thought I would ever deserve.
The executive treasurer-elect, Matt Hainix, knows that money is one of the most stressful factors for students. Hainix plans to start an information campaign to educate students about the scholarships and discounts JMU offers.
That's just what I hope to do here. I hope to see a problem, find that problem, and fix it.
The student representative to the Board of Visitors-elect, Abigail Canella, spoke about the importance of student leadership at JMU.
Really care about this community, and I care about every single person in it, and I want to see them succeed and make sure that they're all having as best of a time as possible.
Faith Foreman, the student body vice president-elect, wants to build a relationship with her peers while educating students about JMU's traditions.
I'm not just here to support class council. If they want to talk to me, I want to talk to them. I want to get more involved with the general student body.
This new class of student representatives say they hope to focus on amplifying student voices through being available on campus.
No matter what I do, I have these different positions and titles, but it all mends into the idea that you have to be present in other people's lives.
These elects will officially step into office on July 1st. Reporting for BreezeTV, I am Alexa Bonilla.
To learn more about these students, head to the Breeze's website to read the full article from last week's edition. And now for more on politics, it's over to our political correspondent, Regine Aranazari.
Good afternoon, JMU. I'm Regine Aranazari, and this is BreezeTV Politics. Donald Trump has become the first former president to be indicted, facing charges related to a hush money payment scheme. Trump and other members of the GOP have dismissed the grand jury's vote to indict him, claiming political persecution. Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin voiced his support for the former president on Twitter, stating that the investigation is for, quote, pure political gain. Trump is expected to be arraigned in Manhattan around 2:15 p.m. on Tuesday. Students are pushing back after George Mason University announced that Governor Glenn Youngkin will be the commencement speaker at this year's graduation ceremony. Within hours of the announcement, students started an online petition in opposition to hosting the governor due to policies they deem controversial. The petition has already received over 7,000 signatures, and the list is still growing.
Our current president came into GMU saying that his values were diversity, equity, and inclusion. Glenn Youngkin does not stand for literally any of those. He ran his campaign on criticizing the teaching of topics he deems divisive. That is completely that inherently is anti-diversity.
Lincoln is the most recent sitting Virginia governor to address George Mason graduates. Former governors Jim Gilmore, Mark Warner, Tim Kaine, and Terry McAuliffe also previously gave speeches at the university. BreezeTV contributor Miriam Mussolini is in studio with more in politics. What do you have for us, Miriam?
Thanks, Regine. A mass shooting at a Christian elementary school in Nashville, Tennessee that left 3 9-year-olds and 3 employees dead has renewed the gun control debate. The 28-year-old was a former student at the Covenant School and shot through the entrance of the school, armed with 2 assault-style rifles and a handgun. President Biden renewed his call for Congress to ban assault weapons, calling the shooting, quote, sick. In the wake of the tragedy, pundits of the right have begun spreading anti-trans rhetoric following the shooter's reported transgender identity. In other news, the FDA has approved Narcan for over-the-counter sales. The nasal spray reverses opioid overdoses, and public health officials hope wider accessibility to the medicine will reduce critically high drug fatalities. Narcan is expected to be for sale in supermarkets, gas stations, and even online in late summer. That's all for politics. Maggie and Eric, back to you.
Thanks, Miriam. Don't leave. You won't want to miss the second half.
Softball hosts Louisiana at Eagle Field while baseball travels for more Sun Belt action.
And football put on their pads for the first time this spring.
Then, JMU says goodbye to influential athletes this season.
Stay tuned.
A Bojangles family meal has more to choose from.
Coleslaw,
Dirty rice.
mac and cheese, those scratch-made biscuits.
More choices of handcrafted fixins for everyone. You won't find that in a bucket or a bundle. Order in the app and get more. It's bow time.
It's bow time. Get fired up tonight because Bojangles has your dinner covered. Southbound, scratch made. Not one of these, but one of these. That's more home cooking for your money. Order your family meal in the app tonight. It's bow time. It's bow time. Hurry into Bojangles for 2 scratch-made sizzling sausage biscuits for just $4. 1 bite and you'll want breakfast for dinner. Good thing we serve savory sausage biscuits all day. But this 2-for-4 deal won't last forever. It's bow time.
Head to Bojangles for a Chicken Supremes combo with your choice of fixin', a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit, and a drink. Bojangles, it's bow time.
Welcome back to the Sports Desk. I'm Colby Reese. To start off our sports segment with a home run, we're going to throw it out to our reporter Sam Reinert, who's live at Veterans Memorial Park, to give us an update on JMU softball's current game and a preview of baseball's game later today. Sam, what do you have for us?
Thanks, Colby. I'm here at Veterans Memorial Park where JMU is playing against Louisiana. They are currently ranked 3rd in the Sun Belt and 25th overall. The Dukes are up 4-2 in the top of the 6th, and they need to make sure their defense is on sharp capability today, especially because Louisiana has high offensive capability. This series will definitely determine whether or not they keep the 2nd seed in the Sun Belt. And also later tonight over at Eagle Field, JMU baseball will also be playing at 6 o'clock tonight against 12th ranked South Alabama in the Sun Belt. That's all here from the ballpark. Throwing it back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you very much, Sam. JMU baseball has continued their strong start to the season, having won 3 straight after a comeback win Tuesday versus George Washington University. Trailing 5-1, the Dukes would rally for 4 runs in the 7th and 3 more in the 8th to secure the victory. Sophomore Fenwick Trimble, who leads the team in home runs, RBIs, and other offensive statistics, spoke about how the team's new approach at the plate has contributed to their success.
No, it's not a power approach. It's just you happen to run into some power. But yeah, I credit the new approach. I guess it's a lot more focused up there and just really, really looking for what you want and hammering what you want.
The Dukes will look to continue their winning streak later today with the first of 3 against South Alabama. JMU is currently 2-2 in Sun Belt play this season, while South Alabama has struggled to a 1-5 start. JMU football kicked off its spring practices last week. the Dukes are focused on improving in many areas now that will ultimately help them succeed in the fall, with a certain aspect of practice providing positivity within the team. JMU football has hit the field to start getting ready for the season ahead, which all begins on September 2nd. While the games may not get underway for another 5 months, both sides of the ball feel that scrimmaging against each other in practice is super beneficial. The group believes this helps them create a competitive culture around the program.
Definitely makes us better, definitely lets us get used to it in games too. Glad to see everybody compete, which is what practice is really about.
Really what everybody comes out here to do, we love to compete, and when we're in between these white lines, we're not teammates.
The mindset that is built within the Dukes is one they hope carries into the season.
We talk about that in the locker room, like if we think that we're the best and our offense think that they're the best, those 11, 12 games that were out there against somebody else, then there's no way that they can beat us. It's that simple.
Despite feeling confident within themselves, the team knows the challenges that lie ahead.
Probably going to be harder than last year because people probably were sleeping on us last year because we were an FCS team, but now we've shown that we can compete at the FBS level.
The Dukes will continue practice in preparation for the spring game on April 22nd. Reporting from Zane Choker Field for Breeze TV, this is Colby Reese. To tip off our senior send-off series, which highlights the most impactful seniors in the JMU sports world, I sat down with Caroline Germont to discuss her basketball life and JMU career. Here's a clip from our chat.
It was just a little girl dream. I think it was like, the American dream we see in movies. I was like, yeah, why not me? And then basketball helped me to get a scholarship, so I used basketball to experience like American lifestyle.
To watch the full interview, be sure to keep an eye out on our social media later this weekend. That's all from sports. Maggie and Eric, back to you at the main desk.
Thanks, Colby. When we wrap things up on Breeze TV,
JMU students are making a difference for those in Syria.
then let loose and break it down with JMU's Breakdancing Club.
Stay tuned.
A Bojangles family meal has more to choose from.
Coleslaw,
Dirty rice.
mac and cheese, those scratch-made biscuits.
More choices of handcrafted fixins for everyone. You won't find that in a bucket or a bundle. Order in the app and get more. It's bow time.
It's bow time. Get fired up tonight because Bojangles has your dinner covered. Southbound, scratch made. Not one of these, but one of these. That's more home cooking for your money. Order your family meal in the app tonight. It's bow time. It's bow time. Hurry into Bojangles for 2 scratch-made sizzling sausage biscuits for just $4. 1 bite and you'll want breakfast for dinner. Good thing we serve savory sausage biscuits all day. But this 2-for-4 deal won't last forever. It's bow time.
Head to Bojangles for a Chicken Supremes combo with your choice of fixin', a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit, and a drink. Bojangles, it's bow time. The one. The only. Bojangles Cajun Filet Biscuit. Nothing compares to our signature Cajun Spice Chicken Breast Filet on a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit. Bojangles Cajun Filet Biscuit is so good, we serve it all day. For a limited time, get 2 Cajun Filet Biscuits for just $5. Bojangles, it's bow time.
This is Breeze TV.
Welcome back to Breeze TV. We now throw it over to reporter Noelle James, who is live in studio with the Muslim Student Association to discuss their fundraising efforts towards the recent earthquake in Turkey and Syria. Noelle?
Thanks, Eric. I'm here with Hannah Mayoub, who is the secretary of the JMU Muslim Students Association, and we'll be talking about what their initiatives are going on to be. So what does the MSA do?
So the Muslim Student Association essentially just serves to create a Muslim student, create a Muslim community on campus, as well as to create education surrounding Islam and surrounding the culture that is based in Islam. And we're open to Muslim students, to non-Muslim students, and just creating a community for people to learn more about the religion.
Perfect. And with the death toll now rising to over 47,000 in the earthquakes that hit Turkey and Syria, what is the best way for Dukes to support these efforts to help the people in Syria and Turkey with the earthquake?
first of all, this Friday we're holding a fundraiser, and that fundraiser is to raise funds for earthquake relief in Turkey and Syria. And I mean, as you know, there was recently a magnitude 7.8 earthquake in the area. And so essentially what we need is to raise those funds, and as well as just creating empathy surrounding the people living there. Because I mean, right now, people tend to see the Middle East and they tend to see inevitability when it comes to conflict and turmoil there. But the reality is that Turkey is a fairly westernized country, and Syria has only been in its war for pretty recently, within the last decade. And so we just need people to come support, come raise funds, and come raise awareness in order to increase empathy for the people going through what they are in the region.
And what is the importance of awareness of such events?
The importance of the awareness of those events is essentially, like I was getting to earlier, just to create empathy surrounding the region. Because right now, again, we tend to see the Middle East and we see inevitability when it comes to the turmoil there. So if we increase just awareness in the area, and if Dukes start to get involved, then we can create a sentiment that's more caring for the people in the region who are suffering and who don't have to be suffering.
All right, thank you so much for your time, and Ramadan Kareem. Eric and Maggie, back to you.
Thanks, Noel. JMU's only breakdancing club is bouncing back into the scene this year as they prepare for the Rocktown Riot Jam this Saturday. I broke down with the community in the club.
Kinetic's breakdance crew began at JMU in 1997. After a brief few years hiatus, Kinetic's president, Andre Zakal, said the club is holding its first 4v4 dance competition, or Jam, since 2016. Sponsored by a $5,000 grant from student government, the Jam will feature elements from all areas in hip-hop, breakdancing, graffiti, rapping, and DJing. Zakal has been breakdancing since his freshman year and has found a love for the culture and community.
It's just a really cool way of expressing yourself. You just feel really free. That's what breaking is about. It's about defining your own style and defining how you want to dance and how you want to show your character.
Zakal said that the Kinetics motto is to define your motion, so you don't have to know how to dance to be a part of the club. Secretary Julia Cheng said that she has learned a lot by focusing on the fundamentals and working hard. Aside from learning how to break dance, Cheng said that she has found a great community of friendship within the club.
We really just kind of meshed together really well. And it's really like a social club in a way too, because I feel like I found my people at least in it.
Kinetics hopes to hold their upcoming jam every year to put JMU on the map as a hub for breakdancers all over the country and the world. Reporting for BreezeTV, I'm Maggie Rickerby.
On April 1st, the entire executive team in the Breeze will switch over to the 2023-2024 team, which means today we unfortunately are saying goodbye to our senior class. A small but mighty group that we are sad to see leave. First off, to Cortland McClung, our technical director. You came to BreezeTV last year as a production assistant, and now you make sure every story in CG are taken at the right place. Ellie will miss your shenanigans in the front row, and Frank will miss being used as a pointer on the switcher. Seeing you thrive making your short film last semester brought happiness to the staff, and we can't wait to see what you do in the future.
And finally, to our executive editor, Zia Fakiri. Through the COVID-19 pandemic and traveling to London for a semester, you have made such an impact on this organization. Zia, you have worked so hard on so many different aspects of the Breeze. You were on a camera for your first show, and now you lead the entire organization. You have done so many amazing things, and none of it has gone unnoticed by past or current staff.
Hi Zia, I cannot believe it's been 4 years since you started at BreezeTV. You've given so much back to this organization and the Breeze overall since you first came to JMU. I remember working with you on one of your first stories, and something that hasn't changed since that day is you are fearless in pursuit of these stories, and you always give 100%. Your full heart is in everything that you do. Thank you for everything that you've done for this organization, and I cannot wait to see what you do next.
Through it all, you have always brought a light into the room. You just danced in the office and played hide and seek with us in Harrison Hall. All year, you have tirelessly brought both print and TV together, and we will always be grateful for that. We're going to miss our laughs together, and most importantly, we'll miss your introduction to the staff every time post-mortem. Go out and be the amazing journalist that you are. And never forget about your little family inside both G277 and 1596 South Main.
Last day of the month, last show of the month, and yeah, I'm really going to miss this leadership group from 2022 to 2023. I'm really grateful and appreciative for all that you have done, and our incredible news director, Zoe Mowry, did a fantastic job leading the group, and I can't wait to see what we do next year.
Yeah, I just want to give another shout out to Zia. Zia, I don't know a Breeze TV without you. You've been such an amazing friend, such an amazing leader during my time here, and I'm really going to be sad to see you go, but really excited to see where you go next.
Thank you everyone so much for tuning in. We'll be back here next Friday, same time, same place.